Chinese group stakes billions of naira in Nigeria's solid minerals sector. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy Wale Edun craves for strategic harmonized trading in West and Central Africa. And Ministry of Interior sets May 1st, 2025 for takeoff of Nigeria's new e-visa policy. Hello and welcome to the news at 11 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Digunloye. DIG operations of the Nigeria Police Force, Kwazi Dali, is calling on the Bokos community in Plateau State to report suspicious movements to security personnel. This is while addressing the people of Riti in Bokos local government area of the state. Ndenyang and Dayabagyang reports.
Following the recent attacks that claimed lives and destruction of property in Bokos local government area, the DIG is in Plateau State on the directives of the IGP to assess the security situation. While condoling with the government and people of the state over the incident, DIG Kwazi says in addition to the special intervention troops deployed to the state, 2 armored carriers have also been added to ensure effective security operations to restore peace in the state.
I've confirmed right yesterday when I'm speaking with the CP that the unit of the police mobile force have arrived. The IG did not stop at that. He has as well directed in order to see that listed criminals did not go, but that justice also should be served to the people of Plateau State.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang expresses gratitude to the Inspector General of Police for the demonstration of love and concern for the people of the state.
We want to appreciate the deployments that have been made and, of course, all the assets that have been deployed to try to deal with this matter.
DIG Kwazi was at the Bongom's Palace where he offered words of condolences over the security breach, saying nothing will be left undone to forestall future occurrences of such ugly incidents. The Bongom, Da Jacob Gang Buba, decried the spate of unprovoked attacks on innocent citizens, re-emphasizing proactive measures for the protection of lives and property. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitments to the continued implementation of the Crude and Refined Products Sales in Naira initiative. At a technical subcommittee review meeting, the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, said the initiative is a strategic policy aimed at strengthening local refining, enhancing energy security, and reducing the demand for foreign exchange in the domestic petroleum market. The committee focused on reviewing progress made so far and addressing emerging implementation challenges. Stakeholders unanimously emphasized that the initiative is not a temporary or stopgap measure, but a core policy directive of the Federal Executive Council. While acknowledging the complexities involved in executing a policy of this scale, the committee noted that implementation and challenges are being resolved through active collaboration among relevant agencies. The initiative, they affirmed, remains in force and will continue as long as it aligns with national economic priorities and the public interest. Nigeria's solid minerals sector is attracting more foreign investments as a Chinese group, Zonghong Kotai, concludes arrangements to invest a startup sum of 800 billion naira. This was disclosed when the delegation of the group from China met with the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals for discussions on the investment plan in line with Nigeria's economic diversification drive through bilateral trade relations.
The solid mineral sector is in the nearest future going to surpass the oil that Nigeria is depending on.
We will appreciate if you can do value addition by setting up processing plant particularly in Nasarawa and Kebbi, where we have solid minerals in abundance.
Leader of the delegation, Shan Tuan, who spoke through an interpreter, said they are aligned with the laws of Nigeria as process for license acquisitions have been done. He stated further that the second tranche of investment is worth $1 billion and hopes that the committee would assist the group in as it navigates the solid minerals business environments. In the meantime, the chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Ugo Chinyere Ikeagwanu, has expressed confidence in the ability of the new board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to deliver on its mandate. In a statement, the lawmaker commended President Tinubu for the choice of members of the board, while urging the new NNPCL's Group Chief Executive Officer, Bashir Bayo Ojulari, and his team to work towards expanding the gains being recorded so far in the oil sector. The lawmaker assured that the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream will ensure thorough oversight of industry activities to enable Nigerians reap the benefits of ongoing reforms carried out by the federal government in the sector. Now, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, is advocating for strategically harmonized trading activities in West and Central Africa to maximize the region's economic prospects. At the 4th Conference of World Customs Organization for West and Central Africa in Abuja, the minister pinpoints peer review mechanisms as an approach that will help achieve these targets. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
The West and Central Africa region is a market of 450 million people and a gross domestic product of more than $900 million. The intra-regional trade still accounts for 12% of the total trade in comparison with 60% in Europe and 40% in East Asia. Nigeria's finance minister gives a clue to bridging these economic gaps.
Opportunities and challenges ahead. And customs are important in Nigeria. We not only have an unprecedented opportunity to boost intra-African trade, we have an urgent necessity to do so, given what is going on in terms of world trade.
For the Comptroller General, Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, customs administration in the region requires practical solutions, implementing technical aspects of the African Continental Free Trade Area Rules of Origin and other trade facilitation instruments and fragile borders.
Establishing infrastructure for real-time information exchange between customs administrations, focusing specifically on Nigerian-Benin Republic interconnectivity as the model. The second project is a competency-based human resource management system, implementing the World Customs Organization framework for developing technical competencies amongst customs officers.
The region is on course to achieve its economic quest, and we will not relent.
Representative of the World Customs Organization sensitized regional representatives on the latest trends in international trade. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
In the meantime, the House Committee on Customs and Excise has expressed dissatisfaction with the slow pace of work and quality of ongoing construction of the Nigeria Customs Service Training College in Ogun State. This follows an inspection of the project by the committee in continuation of oversight visits to customs formations and facilities. National Assembly correspondent Mitaira Ikpen reports.
This is not some martial arts practice, but lawmakers checking the quality of blocks used for ongoing construction of the Nigeria Customs Service Training College in Ikperu Ileshan Remo, Ogun State. The multipurpose project, which will eventually serve as a capacity building hub for customs personnel, has a timeline of 36 months. Members of the House Committee on Customs and Excise, while inspecting the project, expressed reservations with the pace of work and use of substandard building materials.
As I said, we have 36 months. We'll give ourselves up to 45%.
I doubt.
45.
This is a priority project that Controller General of Customs asked me and my committee members to check. But the controller does not even know it's in his command. It's unfortunate we have that kind of person as a controller of a command. Something needs to be done. We need a competent person to hold this command.
The committee was at Ogun 1 and 2 customs commands in Idiroko and Abeokuta to look into the books of both commands and assess their operational capabilities against illicit trade.
Smuggling and complicity by criminal elements of the host communities and violent resistant customs enforcement are other areas of challenge we face.
Almost 4 or 5 years now, petroleum products cannot get here, 20 kilometers to the border. We know how much we buy it. Therefore, when people want to do legitimate businesses, I think this should be recognized.
Next ports of call were the Apapa and Tinkan Island Customs Commands, where it was revealed that unregistered pharmaceutical products topped the list of seizures. Shortage of scanning machines and poor road network were listed as major causes of port congestion and delays in cargo clearance.
The lack of adequate scanning machines hampers the efficiency of cargo inspection.
Where are the scanners? So these are part of our job, honorable colleagues.
Please, if there can be a legislation that all the terminals in the waterfront, so they should be able to retain some percentage of the content of the vessel. That, local content. Yeah, local content.
Considering the critical role the Nigeria Customs Service plays in trade facilitation and revenue generation, the House Committee on Customs and Excise says it will stop at nothing to enhance the operational capacities of the service and monitor budgetary allocations. In Lagos, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In other news, Nigeria's new e-visa policy is set to take off on May 1st, but it's not just about dates and deadlines, it's about how two key ministries are working hand in hand to ensure a seamless rollout. Victor Azu reports that a meeting between the Ministers of Interior and Aviation reflects a pattern this administration is becoming known for.
It wasn't just a courtesy call. It was a meeting of minds, Interior and Aviation coming together to put policy into action. From May 1st, Nigeria's new e-visa policy takes off. But that's not the headline. The real story is the collaboration behind the scenes. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunjojo is pushing for a smoother travel experience. The familiar landing and exit cards will now be automated and free. But travelers must still present them at entry and exit points.
The landing and exit card will be filled online before you board and presented to airlines before you can be boarded. We have also agreed that the e-visa will make it easier for people to come into Nigeria while enhancing the security of our country.
To make it work, he is knocking on the right doors. At the Aviation Ministry, he got a firm handshake and a firm commitment. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Festus Keyamo, is clear. Compliance isn't optional. Penalties await defaulters.
Once it shows there that you have overstayed, the airline, by the protocol the NCA will give, will refuse to board you and refer you to immigration. And then they will decide at that point to fine you or blacklist you.
It's another proof of a growing pattern. Ministries working together, policies talking to each other. For the Tinubu administration, interministerial synergy isn't a slogan, it's a strategy. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Let's take a short break. More reports in a moment. Welcome back. Political parties and supporters are already aligning and realigning ahead of the 2027 general elections, but for some civil society organizations, carrying out a post-mortem of the 2023 general elections is the foundation for credible polls in 2027. And this is the path the Policy and Legal Advocacy Centre is taking as the group embarks on a program tagged From Ballot to the Courts, in analysing litigations arising from Nigeria's 2023 general elections in order to come up with recommendations in sanitising the electoral process. Timothy Yusuf tells us more.
To be of great value to you and, of course, to the legal jurisprudence as well as election matters in Nigeria.
Public presentation of From Ballot to the Courts, analysis of election petition litigation from Nigeria's 2023 general elections. The report provides a comprehensive analysis of the legal challenges, decisions and key takeaways from the 2023 election process and will offer invaluable insights into the political landscape and the integrity of the electoral process in Nigeria.
A compendium of election reports and cases will be very helpful to the judiciary because a lot of times precedent is always very key. And when you have a situation where at every election you have sometimes very new judges being appointed into election petition tribunals, our hope is that this compendium of cases, this report, would help and inform judges as to what precedents have been set.
Many people believe that, well, judiciary is the problem, but we believe that with the amendment proposed, everybody will have his say and the judiciary will, acting impartially, will decide matters in accordance with the Constitution and the law.
Discussions centered on key findings from the report and its implication for future elections.
I'm directed to assure everybody that the Commission will do its best come 2027 to have a credible, reliable election.
Experts in the electoral and legal fields expressed confidence in Nigeria's ability to deepen its democracy. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Nigeria is reaffirming commitments to meeting the United Nations agenda on ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all through a purposeful investments in the country's health sector and reducing out-of-pocket health expenditure of citizens. Chairman, National Population Commission, Nasir Issa Kwara, who was speaking on Nigeria's social development progress at the 58th session of the Commission on Population and Development in the United States, called for more commitments among member nations. With countries still striving towards implementing the 2030 UN agenda, Kwara pinpoints how the Nigerian government is prioritizing social developments through national policies and programs.
These efforts include the commitment to conduct digital population and housing census with biometric components in the year 2025 to 2026 to provide inclusive data for policy and planning. Over the past, Nigeria has taken significant steps to improve health outcomes for our population. We have expanded access to primary health care services through the Basic Health Care Provision Fund, which prioritizes maternal and child health and routine immunization and disease prevention. To this end, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the establishment of over 8,800 primary health care centers across the country and upgrade of existing tertiary health institutions.
The Commission on Population and Development is a platform the United Nations General Assembly gives to member countries to share national experiences and to strengthen cooperation. As the world continues to grapple with various socio-economic challenges, there are individuals, in this case women, poised with a resolve to provide succor and relief to those in need. This was for this reason that Fabulous Mums organisation paid a courtesy visit to the management of NTA News 24 to solicit partnership for their many humanitarian and charitable causes.
This group comprises of married women with one particular drive and motive, which is to help, to give a helping hand to the needy, to the poor, for charity, to be able to alleviate poverty. And with the choice of married women, we want responsible people. We want people of like minds. We want people that are devoted. We want people that will have one particular motive, so that we'll be able to achieve our set goals.
The Fabulous Mums organisation is a non-governmental organisation with the aim of providing relief to vulnerable groups, particularly women and children. Provision of groundwater resources in human settlements in Nigeria is on course for effective management as national and international stakeholders in charge of this essential sector converge on Abuja to set up regulatory frameworks. Ayodeji Makinde reports.
In Nigeria, groundwater, a natural resource beneath the Earth's surface for everyday life, agriculture and industrial growth, has remained largely untapped. Key players, including Federal Ministry of Water Resources, National Water Resource Institute Kaduna, and international partners, including UNESCO, target basement and sedimentary terrains in 9 cities across the country. Therefore, I asked these two leaders of thoughts on how the workshop resonates with the common man, national development and food security.
Its recharge is different from rivers, the surface water that you will see annually. Some take years before they are recharged. So a sudden drop in rainfall pattern where you have dry season and drought, that sudden drops will not be noticed in the groundwater system.
They need to establish the various tools that are quite important, the regulatory framework, so that where you have, for example, like livestock, groundwater will be made available and conducive, especially for them in terms of their nutrient with water and, of course, the production of most of their grasses and pastures that they require for their development.
One of the key milestones to emerge from this workshop is agreeing on project ideas that would focus on groundwater quality.
These hydrogeologists and other experts aim to safeguard this everyday need of man and align with the national priorities of the Renewed Hope Agenda and National Development Plan.
In commemoration of the United Nations International Day of Sports for Development and Peace, a leadership seminar has been held with special focus on promoting and facilitating greater women participation in sports. A collaboration with Talent Scouts from the United States and other partners is seeking support from government and the private sector to discover the talented youths, including young girls at the grassroots, with a view to giving them opportunities to harnessing their potentials. There was also a call for building women's capacity in order to give them more prominence in the Nigerian Football Association.
Whenever we're talking about women in sports, it's still very much about breaking new ground wherever we can and in as many disciplines as we can.
According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, it's just 20% of women professional in Nigeria, which is a very, very low percentage compared to the fact that women in Nigeria are working very, very hard representing Nigeria out there. So we saw the need to see how we can make sure that we provide an enabling environment for more girls to come in.
Before now, the males are more recognized. It's just of recent that our girls start picking up.
Nigeria is full of talent, as you know, as I know. So what my company is looking to do is to provide opportunities, not only to women, but to all athletes looking to go abroad, whether it be collegiately or professionally.
They have the power, they have the zeal to participate in sport.
Well, that concludes the news at 11 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigunle. Have a good night.